All right, let's jump into this first story from Mediaite. Cable news ratings Tuesday, April 25th. Fox News wins 8 p.m. in total viewers, but lands third in demo. I love how they kind of bury the lead. You'd think they'd headline this similarly to what we did. Check it out. The hour hosted by Brian Kilmeade on Fox News brought in 1.7 million viewers, which beat Chris Hayes' 1.45, and Anderson Cooper landed in third with 678,000. What they're not telling you is that Tucker Carlson just this past week was averaging 3.3 million viewers, meaning Fox News lost nearly half of their audience when they got rid of Tucker Carlson. And, okay, I think Tucker's happy. I saw a video of him riding around in a golf cart with his wife laughing. So he's probably like, great, I can start my own company, make a ton of money. Here's where it gets interesting, though. If we jump down to the key demo viewership, take a look at this. If we go to the 8 p.m. Fox News tonight, 149,000 viewers in the key demo. Anderson Cooper and MSNBC both beat Fox News. That is just laughably embarrassing. I mean, look at this. Jesse Waters beats both CNN and MSNBC. And then at 8 p.m., CNN and MSNBC beat Fox News. Chris Hayes has beaten Fox News. How embarrassing.
Chris Hayes and Anderson Cooper. I mean, this is honestly a disaster. We should point out a demo, the A25, 25 to 54-year-olds, that's what the ad sales are based on. It's not total viewers is great. Obviously, you want a big number of total viewers. But in terms of the traditional legacy media that these cable networks are, all that matters is the demo number. And that demo number, last week, Tucker Carlson was, 400, 500,000. I mean, that's as typical. 160,000, that is insane. And
50,
it's not
149,000.
149, and it's not just even the 8 p.m. hour. It's dragging down 9 p.m. with Sean Hannity and 10 p.m. It's a massive, massive problem.
So I got a question for you, though. I don't know if you have the experience in here. If I were to have bought an ad on Fox News and I was like, we want to run Monday at 8 p.m. and then when you got it and then they removed Tucker, I get my money back, right?
That's a good question. If you bought it specifically for Tucker, do you now get it? That's a good question. In fact, now that it's not called Tucker Carlson Tonight, that may be your way of getting it back because now now it's Fox News Tonight or whatever they're calling it in the interim. Look, this is a disaster. I mean, obviously, Tucker leaving is one thing. Tucker is going to be fine. I mean, we've been kind of, everyone in the media is over text and direct message. It's like the talk of what does Tucker Carlson do next? He will eventually do something next. He's obviously under contract right now. He can't even talk, but he will eventually do something next. But what happens with Fox? This is not the same as what happened, I would say, when Bill O'Reilly left or when other top stars left. Tucker Carlson is a singular voice and an incredibly important voice in this particular moment. And they lose that. And that is going to have a massive reverberations.
I just want to make sure we don't leave out our good friend Cuomo, who scored 26,000 viewers in the key demo. Holy crap. And then Cuomo, 11 p.m., get this,
8,000 in the demo, yeah.
8,000. Holy crap. He probably made a whole $20 off
Killing
that
it.
show.
That's over.
Dude, if I made a YouTube video that only got 8,000 views, I think it would make like $20. That's nuts to me. In total, to be fair, in total viewership, Cuomo got 156,000. And then Cuomo at 11 p.m. got 80,000. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, Cuomo, I guess. Whatever. But I think Tucker Carlson's probably going to, he's going to launch his own network or something. You were saying that there was like some kind of rumor about why he got fired because like he was hitting on well, not really, but
no,
Murdoch.
yeah, hold on. This is how rumors get started, man. This is not what he said. This is not what he said.
What did he say?
That Rupert Murdoch's. Well, actually, this is gossip. I couldn't even tell you. But basically, I'll let you tell the story.
Look, it has been reported. In fact, it was reported even before Monday when this all, shit hit the fan and Tucker was gone, that he had dinner with Rupert Murdoch, and Rupert is now ex-fiance, who apparently the reporting is that, from weeks ago. Again, this is not related to Tucker getting fired. The reporting is that the fiance was like obsessed with Tucker Carlson, called him like this gift from God. And the only reason Tucker Carlson is no longer on the air at Fox is because Rupert Murdoch soured on him for one reason or another. Who knows exactly what that reason is? But was that part of the tension in the relationship? Was the experience of Tucker himself and whether he's the gift from God or not? I don't know.
The Chad Tucker Carlson and the soy jack Rupert Murdoch. There's gonna be a million different memes of this.
Yeah, so he decided to get rid of him, I guess. I wonder if it's also because it's not so much about the relationship. I mean, the dude's like 92 years old, but maybe that him hearing her say this, he's like, this man is becoming bigger than my own company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's like, Fox News is me, not Tucker. No, we're getting rid of him.
And so, but that's such a bad solution, right? Instead of continuing to make money off of him, I'll just let him go make money without me.
It should have been.
You essentially let your ego kind of destroy the company. I mean, those are big shoes to fill. Who's going to step in and be able to fill that time slot and be able to bring the presence and the gravitas that Tucker brings?
Nobody. You know what? I think that they're going to try to,
Brian
in the long run. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's knocking it out of the park. Give him some time. I mean, I feel bad for anyone who gets put in that time slot. We were talking about this before the show.
Well, it's their own fault for taking it.
Yeah.
Dude, if I was contracted at Fox News, Hannity or Ingram or anybody, and they were like, you're doing 8 p.m., I'd be like, hell no, I'm not. Are you crazy?
Especially not now. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's ragging on Brian Kilmeade. Nobody cared about Kilmeade before this, but now that he took Tucker's time slot, everybody's making fun of him.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, you get dead air. You get nothing at 8 p.m. because nobody wants to take that spot, because if Tucker was like, I'm leaving the network, people would be sad. But the fact that they unceremoniously removed him, and it may be because Murdoch was jealous. Now it's mega cringe to try and take his time slot.
Well, I sort of wonder, too, if they're going to try to replace him with some kind of bad boy-esque figure, since Tucker was the anti-establishment guy, but someone who's still brand safe and doesn't push Fox in a direction that they're uncomfortable going in.
Who do they possibly have that could do that?
I don't know. Some young upstart that they find. Guys, if you want to find me, Rumble, I can tell. No, I'm totally kidding. I would never be allowed on Fox.
The whole executive office at Fox started busting out laughing.
I busted out laughing.
Like, look at this guy. Look at all James here.
You cannot hire me. I don't apply. But I really do wonder what they're going to try to do, because obviously this guy's going to have to get taken out of the spot. He's not going to perform well.
But I wonder if there's another element that people are saying they're removing him right before the election kicks off, right? Trump's running. DeSantis is probably going to start running. They just changed that law in Florida, I think. What is it? The rain to run or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Where you have to resign. They got rid of that, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, yeah, it seems like DeSantis is going to run, and Tucker is a powerful voice propping up candidates like Trump or DeSantis. Now he is not there.
Right. Yeah, Tucker is, look, I've interviewed Tucker Carlson for about 7 or 8 times over the course of the last 15 years. I've known him since 2008. He is, in my book Uncovered, he talks to me about the fact that he was Hunter Biden's neighbor. I mean, this is a guy who was in the establishment in that way. The first chapter of the book is about Hunter Biden's laptop. Tucker tells me, I knew it was real from the minute I saw it, because I have emails with me and Hunter Biden talking about trying to get sober. Yeah. So he was in that world.
He was in the laptop.
He was in that world. He was in the laptop. Yes. In the world, in the laptop, a guy who knew the Biden family. I mean, he tells me in the book that he knew Biden has dementia because he's heard from Biden's family that he had dementia. This was before he ran. So this is a guy who was in that world and then became the turncoat in a lot of the same ways that Trump did in the New York media scene. And so you're not going to be able to find that. You're not going to be able to get the guy who knew what was going on in DC, who knows all the same people and can expose that, the left and the right. I mean, he goes after the right harder than anyone else on Fox. And if you're looking for a reason why you want a guy like that to not be on the air for the next year, which is like the length of his contract, there's your reason. I mean, he is someone who's a total differentiator from the establishment voice that's on the right or anywhere else.
And he's a threat to the entire establishment, left and right. He's done it in the segments on COVID, on military policy, on the expansion of government throughout the years. I mean, he's a guy that can sort of bring down the entire house, just like Donald Trump.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot about China, too, that the media generally doesn't want to go near.
Yeah. I mean, look, in the Dominion texts that came out, which were embarrassing for sure for Fox. I mean, obviously they settled the Dominion lawsuit. The texts come out. He's really rough on Trump. I mean, he's calling him like this evil guy, essentially. And this was the post-election period, and these all come out. You would think, oh, that should be embarrassing. And then 2 weeks ago, he's sitting down with Trump for an hour-long interview in Mar-a-Lago and praising him in some ways and pushing him in other ways. But this is a guy who can do both those things. He can be critical. He has the credibility. Trump, it will go. I mean, he was just interviewed about it. What do you think about Tucker losing his job? He's sitting there praising him. This is a guy who's calling him essentially evil in these text messages that are coming out in the wake of the 2020 election. So you lose something massive by not having a voice like that, a guy who it really cannot be replaced. I mean, the legacy media industry is every single day, even if they were doing everything right, less and less people are watching traditional TV, less and less people are finding that. So when you're not going to maximize the time you have left by getting someone who is a star, a bona fide star, and you take them off the air, you're really just it's the end of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a few moments ago, around the start of this show, Tucker Carlson posted a video on Twitter that says, "Good evening. I have no idea what he's going to say, so I hope we don't get banned." Here's what he said.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
And he was talking about us. That was all about Timcast IRL. Yeah, where can you find the truth? It's right here.
Was he in a sauna? I bet you
that's his studio, I'm pretty sure. I think it's in Maine or something like that. So that was awesome to hear from him. He's right about all of that. And it's really amazing to see that he's become this like populist. You know, there's that viral meme we played last night where it shows him in the political compass for authoritarian right. And he's like, the more that they have you talking about race, the less time is spent asking about class. Why rich people? And then it shows him like shifting to the left and starts playing this communist anthem. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think, man? It was fairly vague. I know that he can't say a whole lot because he's going through that contract stuff.
I mean, I think it's pretty on brand for how he's been for the last God knows how many years. I mean, it's classic Tucker, without the high pitched laughter. But I mean, I think it's again, maybe he's just sort of trying to flex a little bit and show that he's going to be fine and be able to operate on his own without having to go to a network. I mean, who's going to write?
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson.
It just started automatically playing again.
Like who's going to write him a check? Who can afford to pay him? I mean, is Boring going to offer him $500 million to come over to Daily Wire? Like his best move is to sort of do his thing, and I think we'll probably see more content coming out just independently from him because he's able to do it. And like you said earlier, he built Daily Caller, and he's perfectly capable of building another network and being his own man and not having to be a slave to anybody affiliated with the establishment.
Does he still own the Daily Caller or something?
He sold out.
He sold his shares last year?
Recently, pretty recently. No, I mean, well, first of all, this is just like the quintessential Tucker Carlson, right? It's 8 p.m. when his show starts, when Brian Kilmeade is filling in for him and no one's watching, and he drops this on Twitter and gets everyone talking about it.
That's awesome.
So
he's already got almost more viewers than Kilmeade. He's got 107,000 views in this one video he just posted. I mean, that's the thing about the internet versus TV anyway. You get more views on a snippet little video. He could put up a video on TikTok and get more views.
Yeah, absolutely. Tucker, and that's what I think his next move is. He's going to start doing TikTok dances and stuff.
All right.
So it's about,
Yeah, that's what we've all wanted to see is
hope for.
Yeah, he's already got 242,400 views.
Oh my gosh.
On this video. And I'm assuming it's Twitter, so it's mostly key demo.
Right.
And Brian Kilmeade only got 149. I feel bad for Kilmeade, man. I got no beef, but like, what are you doing?
But this is also like the shift, right? I mean, yes, traditional ratings, there's not exactly apples to apples with views on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. But that is a very, very small number. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that 3 million number at Fox was 5 million. We're talking about 5 years ago. I mean, it was just the way the audience is shifting is happening. But yeah, look, Tucker started Daily Caller in between his time at MSNBC, which is, kind of funny to think. He was a host on MSNBC. He gave Rachel Maddow her start. I mean, this is a guy who has had a very fascinating career. Starts Daily Caller. I remember I interviewed him in 2010. He had bought KeithOlbermann.com. He found out that KeithOlbermann.com was available for sale. And so he buys it. He gets the email address Keith@KeithOlbermann.com. And just to fuck with Keith, he starts emailing people as if he's Keith Olbermann to start scaring people. I interviewed him about it. And he's just talking about how he's the most hated man in the building. I mean, this is Keith still at MSNBC. So he just uses it. He's funny. He's smart. He's different. And look, I mean, apparently now he's free to at least drop some videos every now and then.
Did you hear this thing about this woman accusing of sexism?
Yeah,
his old booker said that he and others destroyed her. We have this story from the Post Millennial. I saw this on Twitter. Ex-producer suing Tucker Carlson has never even met him. What the? How do they hire these people?
Yeah.
Like, does Fox have like a vetting process where they're just like, right this way, sir, and walk through the door, and that's it? They're like, do you agree with us? We don't know. Okay, well, come on in.
This person has apparently, according to her interview with MSNBC yesterday, has 90 tapes. I mean, has spent her entire career apparently at Fox just recording people, ready to drop this. Yes, never met Tucker Carlson. Really has no real beef with Tucker personally, as trying to make it about Tucker's staff and the culture that he's started there. I think she, potentially has him on tape saying some things that are, sexist or whatever she wants to try to portray there. She also
I don't buy it.
No. Of course.
Did you see those? They're saying they got secret recordings of Ted Cruz.
Oh yeah, I think from her
saying
yeah.
what?
And Ted Cruz, he's saying something. Yeah, probably he's talking to Maria Bartiromo, and he says something to the effect of, if there's gonna be some kind of challenge to the election, then you've got to have an actual sanctioned commission that reviews the evidence, and then if the evidence is there, you present it. That's what he says. And the left is like, he's trying to overthrow the election. It's like, it sounds like Ted Cruz is trying to stop them from doing it, being like, no. You got to go through the formal process and get a commission set up before you can do any of this. And they're using Ted Cruz resisting this stuff as evidence he was in favor of it.
Yeah, honestly, just to stick with Tucker for a second, the person who was the strongest against the election fraud stuff on the air at Fox was Tucker Carlson.
Right.
I mean, he did a 15-minute monologue that was really powerful, that just completely obliterated Sidney Powell. Why won't Sidney Powell come on my show and talk about this? I'll give her the whole night. I'll give her the whole week. She won't come on. We've asked for evidence. She won't show it. We're telling you this because it's true. I mean, that's the kind of person he was. And separate from that, just the entire, we're still seeing this now. It's 3 years later. Everything that can be part of what I would call the Trump addiction in the corporate media, which I think all of this election stuff is. They're going to try to make the story of Ted Cruz's comment that's like the most Ted Cruz thing possible. I mean, it's just like this lawyer who's talking about, you
got to have a commission.
He's trying to steal insurrectionist.
He's literally describing a process. Like, he wants to take over the government. Okay.
He's demanding hard evidence and a formal hearing to look at the evidence. Yeah. And their immediate response is, it was a coup attempt.
Yep. Right. But this is why people don't trust the corporate media. I mean, it's honestly, I write about this a lot in Uncovered. It's like there starts with the seed of something, whether it's, the Steele dossier, Russiagate, the media covers something in a specific way. I call it glance journalism. Like you get it at the glance, an initial story, and then they just move on to the next thing. And they never go back and start to correct it. They're so addicted to Trump and to anything that's kind of the ancillary, the January 6th or the election fraud stuff, so addicted to it. And the average American, left, right, or center, is not in that same mindset. I mean, they are not just completely addicted in the way that these media people are. I've talked to people that could not sleep, that had to take pills because they were just so overcome with this feeling that they're in this existential fight with Donald Trump during the Trump presidency. And it made them completely put the guardrails of journalism out when they tried to take him down, and it was so obvious to the audience. And to this day, I mean, they have not learned a single lesson.
No, I think they were driven insane.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was Trump. I think it was social media algorithms, because there's no real reason to be so mad at Trump.
Yeah.
Like any reasonable person who's like, man, like if you were looking at Trump and you genuinely didn't like him because you didn't like his policies or his attitude, you wouldn't be screaming that he was Hitler. You'd just be like, I don't like this guy.
Right.
Yes.
But they got driven to the extreme end because the internet was screaming as loud as possible in their faces.
Exactly. So, for example, with somebody like Joe Biden, I mean, I detest absolutely everything the man stands for. I don't have to take sleeping pills because he's the president. It's insane to have such a small, petty outlook on life. My goal is to go after this person and take them down. For some bizarre reason, they saw him as the embodiment of every principle that they hated, despite the fact that he was basically a New York Democrat in many ways, at least with respect to his economic policy decision-making. He was more socially conservative, but even there, he was like somewhere between center-right and centrist. This was not some far-right political leader. Yeah. And even if he was, on the actual right by American standards or far-right or however they would have defined it, to not be able to sleep over the guy, you're out of your mind.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.